Hello and welcome to video on summarize values by in pivot tables. When you put the numeric fields under values areas of pivot table, the default setting is to calculate sum based on the corresponding fields in row and column area. If the numeric fields had any blank cells in the source data, then the default setting would be to perform count. In such instances, you will have to manually change this setting to sum. Now, there are other aggregation settings also available in pivot table, which you can perform on these numeric fields. In this video, I will briefly show you what these options are and how you can use them on existing pivot tables. So with that, let us move on to our sample file provided to us. In the current pivot table, you can see that we have category and subcategory on row areas, and under column area, we have a region field. In values area, we have placed the sales field, which calculate the total sales for combinations of fields in row and column area. Further, there are subtotals also and grand totals also being displayed for these sales in this pivot table. Currently, the setting is to calculate sum of sales, which is being displayed at the top of this pivot table here as well. Now you can right click any of this particular cell and then go to value field settings, and this new window will open up. Now under summarize values by, you can see there are different options. You can select one of them and immediately the values will get calculated and will get displayed in your pivot table. So let us select this count. You can see our values have changed, and here also it is displaying count of sales. I have documented all the options which are available in this value field settings under this first tab, summarize values by. Under this summarize values by tab, you can look at them and you can play around with the different values. Now further, let us go back to our value field settings, and here you see this number format. So if you want to change any of the number formatting, you can click on this and you can change the formatting the way you want it. So this is very similar to normal formatting, so I won't explain this now. Now under this second tab, you can see that show values as. Here you get an options to change the calculation to find percentage or ranking or differences or running totals as required. You can select the options whichever is required, and results will get displayed immediately in your pivot table. Further, based on the options which you are selecting here, these bottom two boxes will get activated. So you will have to select the base field and the base item to calculate the differences. I have documented all the information related to these options in this particular show values as tab. So whether any additional condition is required based on the base field and base items, those are also being documented here. So let us go back to our this summarize values tab and let us perform few of them. So let us go to value settings, go to show values, and let us calculate percent of grand total. So let us click OK. So immediately you can see these values have got converted to percentage to calculate the value based on the grand total. So this particular value is 1% of this grand total value. You can also add the same sales field one more time into this values area, and you can have the percentage as well as the absolute numbers being displayed. So sometimes it might get easier for you as well to understand the percentage as well as the exact values. So this way you can play around with this if required. So let me remove this. And now if I want, I can go back and change the other settings as well. So this time let's say if I'm selecting running total in subcategory, let us click OK. So you can see the category values are not getting running total. However, my bookcase, chairs and furnishings is having continuous subtotals or running totals being calculated. So you can play around with this all of the settings to understand more. So let us just recap what we have seen. Based on the field selected in the values area, default settings of sum or count will be used. For text fields, default setting will be count if you are using that under values area. For numeric fields, default setting is sum, except that in the instances if there is a blank cell in a numeric field in your source data, then the default setting would be count. We can change the default setting from the values field setting. Also, we can change the calculation to determine the percentage of a particular amount or ranking or running totals and so on from the second tab in that value field settings. So when you review the file, you should look at these settings so that you can understand what options have been used and you can change it if required. I hope you find this video useful. See you in next video guys.